Necromancer is in its second version, the beta. The beta is just like lasting for 2 or 3 days. So you have actually still 3 kinds of minions, like the skeleton, which is doing a little bit more basic damage, and you have the hound, which makes it able to evade and make critical hit damage, and you have a golem, which makes it able to block some of the opponent's attacks. And so you actually don't always summon a minion, yeah, sometimes it's RNG based if you summon something, but it seems like the dog with its damage is like the most interesting part in it. Of course the attacks can be blocked, yeah, and in that case, like you see in the golem, it's not that strong, but it can do some damage and it can block actually attacks by the opponent. And well, this overall, this class seems interesting because it's an intelligence class which has a lot of different abilities, and it seems like the abilities do match each other a little bit better than it has before, like with the Bard's instruments, for example, because it's RNG based and you never know what you gain. Of course, at the moment it seems like you have the best chance to win a fight if you just have the dock all of the time, yeah. The crit damage bonus of the dock is really solid, yeah. But yeah, it could lead that the Necromancer in this form is perhaps a pretty solid PvE class for intelligence. Maybe it's maybe in dungeons better than the Bard and the Druid. It could happen. And could be that it's a kind of solid PvP base. Yeah, so overall you have the skeletons, like skeleton round got extended. Damage factor 25% basic damage, yeah. And then you have the hound, as I said, for 2 rounds it gets 100% extra damage plus critical damage bonus, like 160 extra damage, which no, 150, sorry, which makes it really strong with its attacks. And like, yeah, the golem has a block chance, so it's all going good. And here's the changelog in German, and because the first time we saw the Necromancer in the first beta, it seemed to be too weak, so he gained more life, doubled, so the damage reduction is higher, 10% to 20%. Never we got 20% damage reduction on one class. And its damage, its basic damage got reduced to balance it. And that the minions can attack directly after being summoned. This is one of the weak points in the first beta. And yeah, then you have specific interactions between other classes. The Necromancer gets more damage through the Arcane Comet of the Battle Mage, which means the Battle Mage will do 20% damage with its comet, and this is like special. The Battle Mage does basic damage against all other classes except the Mage, and now it gets 20% damage for the Necromancer. And the Necromancer is 10% stronger in its basic damage versus Demon Hunters. So with those small changes, they want to make this class at least kind of solid in PvP. Now, Demon Hunter is really unbalanced in PvP because it can be very strong, especially if you're on the active side. Means you waste a lot of mushrooms to attack somebody until you beat him, until you're able to beat him. And now it's a little bit easier for the Necromancer to play against Demon Hunter. But in reverse, it's weaker against Battle Mages. They're like the Battle Mages, maybe not the best class to pick in PvE, but with that change or with that introduction and its abilities, the Necromancer will lead that the Battle Mage in total in PvP will a little bit more stronger than before. Yeah, so overall I like the basic changes of the Necromancer because they still made the class look like it does basic damage and it is able to be very strong with its minions. And I mean, when the introduction of the Necromancer happens, I already said like it's actually good if you have a slower basic damage and you have a higher damage with the minions, and so it's like going its way. And it seems like this like this class could be very, very solid. So in case you could play the Necromancer on the beta for yourself, or you saw it on an official livestream or over the changelog or in the sfgame tools, whatever, what is your opinion about this class? Do you think that it could be a solid addition into the whole portfolio of playable characters out of Shakes and Fidget? Or do you think that it might lead to another waste class overall, or could danger or damage the basic balance, which is at the moment even more? So feel free to share your thoughts in the comments.